Hey, Ian. It's Lix. Hi, how you doing? All right, we're gonna get underway here. Welcome everyone to the fifth live stream, and let's just go. So, so up first is a poem I like to call "With the Stars." Now, the interesting thing about this poem is that it was a memorial poem for my biological father. All right, so let's get underway. I look up tonight at the dark sky. Bright stars and deep sighs fill the skies. I can do nothing but be still and lie, with my eyes on the one star, and the gone and wise looking down from afar. My lies evaporate because the truth ain't far. Let the rain fall, let it wash its way and flood, because if I'm honest, I'm still in pain through it all. You may not have always been the hero, but you were always the flesh and blood. Can you leave me here? It'll be a minute. I'm on my knees praying that you can hear me, because my mind still isn't with it. I used to be young and angered for a decade, but now I'm crying because anger doesn't age well. You mattered, and I wish I told you. But I hope you're looking down from a place that isn't man made. I hope you're flying with the stars because down here it feels like hell. Go with the stars. And when you look down at night, I'll wave and assure you I'll be alright. Go, because I know you won't be far. And no matter where you are, just know one truth. I miss you. I just wish I could have told you. Hi, too. Hi, I finally came on time. It's Lix. It says, it's me, Gamify. I just changed my name. I also invited Dylan, but he couldn't join. Aw, this is a shame. It's cool. It's cool, though. We're gonna, we're just gonna chill here. And again, even if it was just one person, I'd still be happy. Honestly, these streams have been a lot more, um, what's it called? Successful than than I could have ever imagined. Chilling with you while doing homework. Thanks. Up next, I'm going to share with you guys a poem called Vegas is Empty. Now, the interesting, a couple of interesting facts about this poem. Obviously, this was made when Vegas first started shutting down due to the pandemic. And I actually did a little bit of research on this. There was only one other time that Las Vegas was ever shut down, and it was way back in the 60s. Except this time, I mean, Vegas was really shut down. It was crazy. It was like a ghost town. Um, and it was so weird because it's Las Vegas. Picture millions of people walking up and down a street, and then all of a sudden, the next day, they're just gone. Some pretty wild stuff. Anyways, this is Vegas is Empty. Vegas is empty. Huh. It's almost funny. It's been a couple weeks, and I'd be lying if I said the trouble didn't reek. I've been driving up and down this empty street. Godlike monuments hold their silence as if discreet. The blood is gone, and the strip is dying, and the continuous is now discreet. I drive alone, the wheel barely turning, and my blood chills at the incomplete. Infernal illness, you've taken this from me. Sure, people may have left to go elsewhere, and we now lay with an uncertainty felt there. And though this place may have seemed like a hedonistic landscape, where a graceful face meets the white lines in a nihilistic mindscape, it never meant less. For this to be over is my only plea. Until then, I'll drive my car and sip my tea till the illness is gone and it lets us be. To everyone whose job is essential, know every person at home is behind you. The help you provide is now international. But please stay safe, and we'll promise to stay safe too. We'll get through this together. Poetically yours, Javier Santamaria. Thank you, Ian. Up next, it's Only the Lost. And the interesting factoid about this poem is um, this is kind of how I felt at times in high school. So, ladies, gentlemen, without any further ado, Only the Lost. It's the beginning of a new day, a true ray of light. Throughout the day and out of sight, everyone's together, and those inside and those outside, enjoying better weather. And I'm alone, fond of no solar zone. I guess it's all a blur. The world and how it's just made in a stir. Footprints fade, all hints stayed, and yet I'm a desperado in a modern desert's libido, doomed to walk alone even when I'm with you, glued to the premise when illusions revealed what's true. Don't bother helping, you won't last when I'm scaling. I'm a vertical in the world of horizontals. Simply put, only the good dine with their brothers, only the bad run from the others, only the lover sleeps with another, but only the lost walk alone. Poetically yours, Javier Santamaria. We got 5 people in the chat. Nice. When you read these poems, it feels so inspiringly, and I don't know why. I don't know either. A lot of these tend to be kind of like sad, and I didn't realize that until somebody at work ended up watching my videos and told me, "Hey, a lot of what you make is pretty sad." And I started to look through again, and I'm like, "Yep, that's true." Ian says, "Sometimes I don't get it." It's okay, buddy. When you get older, you'll start to understand a lot more and more of what I'm talking about. Up next, the romantic poem of the night. I think I pretty much do at least one romantic poem for every stream. How bright my passion burns. The interesting fact about this one is this was inspired by a quote from a historical figure. I forgot who exactly said it, but I remember learning that a historical figure once said, um, I wish I could spend the night with you, but I'd rather do it in winter because the nights are longer. And that just always stuck out in my mind, and I always wanted to make a poem out of it. So here is how bright my passion burns. If I should stay the night in the summer, you know I would, but I wish to postpone for winter because the nights are longer. And stay immortal to love you longer, I wish I could. If the universe ends and there is only one thing in the abyss, rest assured it will be my love being kept alive by you. For if my passion yields bliss, and if I die knowing the fire of your kiss, then I'll know our infinite is true. And I'd be the tragic romantic 1,000 times if it means I get closer to a love so incredible with every rhyme. My love, show me happiness. Show me what it is to be bliss. And in return, I'll show you how bright my passion burns. Poetically yours, Javier Santamaria. Thank you. Up next, Haven. And the interesting fact about Haven is that I was originally going through a bit of writer's block writing this. I eventually got out of writer's block and I decided to write Haven. Now I've been gone for a minute, but now I'm back with it. It's been lots of time within these thoughts of mine. I've overthought and thought till I feel sublime, but it hasn't happened. It never does. And it may sadden, but not me because I no longer fight my demons. I have tea with them. I, I no longer sing the songs I write and then I perform. Become alive. But for who do I take this form? For what is the cause to survive? I'd rather face the unseen, the unheard, and start to force me to have my eyes wide shut, candles out like my luck. Because when it's daytime, there's no haven. I have no reason to stay out until it's late. Then I wrap myself up with the night, a temporary haven. I can be out of sight. It's coming. It's coming again. Poetically yours, Javier Santamaria. This is a little bit surprising. This is the first live stream where where I didn't get as many people, but sometimes that just happens. We're still gonna be here and we're still gonna chill. Next up, I'd like to share with you guys a poem that I like to call May 10th, 2014. And this poem to me is very special because um, I credit this day as being the last day where I was truly happy for a very long time. For me, this was basically the end of my childhood, basically. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, May 10th, 2014. It fades, it fades, but it's the end of an era. Life is really like a roller coaster, left, right, up, down, and it flips you over. It feels incredible when you go through it with me. And it was always lit, so I never had to ask for a wick. Please, see that I'm on top and feel on stop. I've always jump, skipped, and hopped because I love a lot. My friend's family, girlfriend, take their love and always return to sender. With interest, so I'm happy that this never has an end. The straps come off and we move on together, flying through each one like birds of a feather. Six Flags never had to worry about a seven. All this while I'm with my friends. Time stops and it feels like heaven. I'm obsessed, and though I don't know the future, I certainly hope that I'll have people impressed. I'll laugh and I'll just pass every test, and I'll keep the status quo, won't you know? It will be the same, I never left. You know the name, the rides have stopped like a heart that means death. But I'm here, and you'll be here too, right? Well, I know that your attendance is clear. Hey, I mean this. Between us, everything will be alright, right? I guess it faded, but this was the end. Hey, Scully's House with Thrillers. Javier, some of you live with the lights off. It looks like a 2006 video. True. I don't really, I don't really have a too much of a better setup, so I'm doing what I can, Ian. Scully's Thrillers, how's you? I'm good. I feel like I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, Scully? Doing okay? All right. On the bright side, at least it's not bad. Just getting caught up with just getting caught up with a bunch of stuff. Well, slowly, for what it's worth, don't know if this stuff is good or bad, but I hope that the next day is very good for you. Next up, I'm gonna read to you guys The Gamble and the Storm. Uh, you got some new stuff coming out? You know I do, Scully. I got a new poem coming out this Monday, and soon I'll be dropping a trailer for my book that's coming out in November. So yeah, a lot of really exciting stuff coming out soon. I see two back in the building. All right. Up next, the gamble and the storm. Now, um, I always wanted. This poem was inspired from sea stories, so I always wanted to make my own story of the sea. I wanted to have like my own tale, but I never really knew how to until I just started writing this. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the gamble and the storm. I see it. It's getting closer and closer, and it's a big one. If mouths are hoses, then they're all spraying it, and they're all preparing so that tomorrow they aren't laying dead. And even then, there's something so exhilarating to know that it's coming. Pure possibility and the greatest gamble. I've locked in my mentality with space so no longer ample. The looks of fear as it gets near. The thought of death so real, it all collides and becomes so surreal. This moment was a monument. The cards are laid and dues are paid, but they don't know I'm gambling with the biggest cost. See, we weren't supposed to set sail. It's a fool's journey to become lost. But I took the gamble and switched reports to set sail. What's better than to gamble with one life? 13. To know the will to stay alive, the biggest thrill I've ever seen. It's coming, and we'll see who the winner is soon. Poetically yours, Javier Santamaria. Two Skewed Nail says, I've been listening. Oh, at one point, at one point, my viewer count just said like 0, so I didn't know. I'm sorry. Thank you, Scully's House of Thrillers. It's okay. YouTube is weird. I agree. Actually, you could say that for the world right now. The world is weird. I wasn't originally planning this, but since we're getting through these pretty quickly, I'm gonna add in another poem. Okay, back. What I miss? Nothing much, Ian. Um, so up next, I'm gonna add in another poem to the set called "Human Performance." And the interesting bit of trivia about this poem is that um, this poem is kind of based off of a persona that I adopted in high school in order to try to be liked. And looking back at it, I really shouldn't have tried being liked in high school because um, it feels kind of empty. And if I could just give advice to my past self is be yourself because high school is literally just a blip in your life. I don't really consider high school to be a gigantic important time for me anymore. Um, and looking back at it, I was and even to some degree I still am very sad that I let myself get caught up in it and I tried so hard to be liked that I eventually just kind of lost myself. And to me that's become a really scary thing, just not being yourself and putting on this human performance. Anyway, but I'm rambling. This is human performance. I keep worrying. A rapid spread and all the time scurrying. I DiCaprio. And I rock the scene so much that the master goes, the Oscar goes, the other flows, the martyr shows, and the mountain snows. But I go back home, away from the attack zone, the non-harmful bullets off of me. You don't know me, and yet you love Javi. Now what happens? You made time for my favorite character, said you wanted him, and yeah, I'm sure. And now you have no time for that, when the picture's looking back. And now I stand upon the bottom screaming to the world, let God take my body before my words. A performance to take over like the talent show. Best actor when you have to be something you should know. Are you with me? Are you here? Because this is my finest performance. Poetically yours, Javier Santamaria. Looking at our chat count again, we have 4 people in the chat. Thank you too. Yay. Yay. Sounded awesome. Thank you so much, Scully. One of my ideas is for to drive up hype for the book I'm putting out is next live stream is going to be just poems off of the book itself. And there's enough to do that on this channel. I think there's about 6 or 7 poems from the book on this channel, so it can definitely be done. Another idea I have is just doing a very long live stream where it's just me reading every single poem up to the series. But that probably won't be for at least a couple more weeks, at least until season 2 of the poetry series is done. That would be insane. But you know, we gonna try to do it. Current time check is about 29 minutes. People that love your work will need your words. The community will grow. When you're ending the poem series. Alright, so first up, Scully. Thank you. I said it once and I'll keep saying it. I personally don't consider myself to be this really great poet whose words can change people. I've never really considered myself to be that. But honestly, to hear that coming from someone like you, it means a lot to me, Scully. So thank you. When you ending the poetry series from Ian? Um, honestly, either one of two things is gonna happen. Either I will end this poetry series when people just have no more interest in it. Like if I get a video that has absolutely no views, nobody comments, nobody likes, nobody dislikes, and nobody even cares, I'll end the poetry series. Either that, or if I just run out of creativity and it gets to the point where I can't make a consistent product, then I will end the poetry series. Hey Javier and everyone from Linda Barker. Hey Linda, how are you doing? Folks, I said, folks, I know I said that was going to be the second to last one, but you know what? Let's add in one more. I kind of like doing this live stream. That's a lie. I love doing these live streams. And because I like showing off how good I can rhyme. Up next is a poem called "I Was Cool." So the interesting bit of trivia for "I Was Cool" is that this poem was inspired from a conversation that I had with a friend from high school. Um, this friend was a freshman at the time that I was a senior. It's been a couple of years, and I got to talk to them again, and they're just like, "Wow, you you're doing all of this stuff. You're investing. You're writing a book. You're an ABA therapist." And anybody can tell you that I don't really consider myself to be all that in a bag of chips, but I gotta admit, it does feel good when people tell you that you're all that in a bag of chips. So that's what inspired this poem. Thanks for doing another. No problem. No problem. No problem. I love sharing my work. And if people tell me they like my work, then of course I'm gonna continue to share it. Anyway, this is I Was Cool. Always been a nerd and been against the world and never thought about being part of the beautiful people with bountiful sequels and wonderful prequels. No one really wanted my story till I started going up, and the story became his story, my story. Now I'm glowing up. I've been quiet for 2 years, been ruled by past choices and too much fear. I didn't realize how much I grew till I talked to you, and had you impressed, we laughed and we just felt good for a while. I left with a smile, said bye, and promised that I'll come back stronger than ever before. Yeah. But anyway, that was an anecdote, and I'm just a fan of those. I guess for a moment, I really was cool. Poetically yours, Javier Santamaria. That was great. Thank you, Ian. Good one. Read it again. Sure. Always been the nerd and been against the world and never thought about being part of the beautiful people with bountiful sequels and wonderful prequels. No one really wanted my story till I started going up, and the story became history, my story. Now I'm glowing up. I've been quiet for 2 years, been ruled by past choices and too much fear. I didn't realize how much I grew till I talked to you, and had you impressed, we laughed and we jest. Felt good for a while. I left with a smile, said bye and promised that I'll come back stronger than ever before. But anyway, that was an anecdote. I'm just a fan of those. I guess that for a moment, I really was cool. Poetically yours, Javier Santamaria. I simply love the written word. Me too, Scully. I honestly didn't really think this would ever be a thing that I would take seriously, but I picked it back up and I just fell in love with it again. Linda likes to be read to. Cool. Two skewed nail with the clap. And Linda, I do. next time. I mean, next time. This time, next up, I'm a poem called "The Job." Hey, thumbs up. Oh, thank you, Just Me Fifi, Unique Fee. Thank you so much. Next up is a poem I like to call "The Job," and the interesting fact about this poem is that I wrote this about the time that I spent working in childcare, and if you ever worked in childcare, it's it's a hard field to work in. So eventually I got sick of it, and it's about to be the 1 year anniversary of when I quit. Just passing by, I haven't managed to see you live. Javier, nice name. Thank you. Linda, what is your favorite bedtime story? Good question. Anyways, next up is the job. Overthought and thought again, the painful drips I mop again, in circles as this lot begins. I look for strength I brought within. Do everything time and time again, refine and be him. In circles I see the clock spinning, my mind rots within. Wondering what ifs and plans to run away, pondering that is, in order to find a way. I don't like this anymore. I felt bliss before, I don't no more, and I don't front. I haven't seen the door. I bide my time and bid farewell. They subside, and I feel something rare. Swell. A job well done as I walk out, knowing there's no more to talk about. Here's a 2 week time limit, 'cause my heart's no longer in it. Not anymore. Poetically yours, Javier, Santamaria. My first job was on a nursery, and I decided not to pursue a career in it. Kids are sweet. Yeah. My first job was at this program managed by the government called SafeKey. And what I used to do was before kids went to school and after kids went to school, I used to be there for a couple of hours and basically take care of people's kids. Or at least that's what I was supposed to do. But in reality, I not only did that, but I took care of a lot of the school's problems, and I got yelled at by a different parent pretty much every single day. You never know what you were gonna get when you were in safety. Poetry is the gray matter of creation, so much that I can hardly stand my elation. Scully's House of Thrillers just blew my mind with that. We call that Breakfast Club and After School Club in the UK. Ooh, I heard something really wrong. Parents can be Karens. Ain't that the truth? When you started your first job. I started my first job way back 2018 in August. Yeah, I think so. Two skewed nail. Have you seen a Karen? Two, I could honestly make a 3 hour live stream explaining to you every single difficult parents that I've ever encountered while working in safety. Uh, but honestly, I saw one day. It was during my last month as safety. There was this parent that was so bad. It caused me to just be like, you know what? No, I can't do this. I don't get paid enough to go through this on a daily basis. I, there are lots of problems here, and I gotta admit they are way beyond my payroll. So I'm gonna just put in my 2 weeks, and I'm gonna go. Coley's House of Thrillers. Lately, I've been falling asleep thinking about traveling along the Mississippi River. Honestly, Linda, that sounds so nice. I would love if you. I would love to. If you're planning on going and just drifting down the Mississippi River, tell me, because I'd love to. That sounds so relaxing. Wow, that's hard, but they mean the best for their child. Too, you would think so, but a lot of times, um, when you look at a child and you see the things they do, you you kind of you kind of know whether or not they're going to be good for society. And a lot of times, me and the other safety workers would talk about this, especially during the summer camp. We would look at how kids interact with each other, and we would just be like, okay, so who do you think is going to be a decent human being when they grow up? It's not just based on how they act with each other, but also the parents. Because again, some of these parents, my goodness, wow. One day I'll make a poem about my frustrations with childcare, but I'm losing the chat. Let's go back up just a little bit. I was a dishwasher, my first job. That's really cool. I've never I've never had the privilege of working any job within the food industry. And part of it is because my parents didn't want me to, but part of me kind of wishes I had just to know what it was like. Was it generally the same parents? Oh yeah. Problem parents were generally the same parents, and every single day I saw these parents, or every single day I saw these kids, because it was almost never really like different kids or different parents that were problematic. It was always the same kids, the same parents, and you just kind of knew. And then MHS, yeah. Maybe I should read some Mark Twain. Actually, my first job was in a pizza shop. I lasted 3 hours. 3 hours? Was it good pizza? Because like you got to tell me if it was good pizza or not. Really? Yes, too. Really. Um, this is why I don't really care that much about good intentions because as I worked in safety, parents are always like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my kid tried taking another kid's shirt off," or "Oh, I'm sorry, my kid punched another kid in the face." But I taught them that because I had good intentions, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, but your kid's still in trouble, and your kid's still getting suspended for a couple of days because that can't happen. Yes, please. And then MHS. Where is everyone from? Javier's brother? Any brother of Javier, or is a brother of mine? Aw. What age group? I didn't like working so close to the sweaty owner, and he kept shouting at me, so I left without pay. Legendary. Hey, Javier brother. Ian will be back in a little bit. Honestly, I thought I was going to love it. I feel I feel like working at a pizza place would be pretty fun. But yeah, if it was cramped and they were honestly just yelling at you, then I would have done the same thing. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna read a poem called "She's Mine," and The interesting fact of information about this poem is, well, a lot of people kind of guess what the interesting fact about this poem is, but I'll just say it anyway. Um, this poem was was made for the 1 month anniversary of me and my current girlfriend. And yeah, it was kind of like the big reveal to the world that I'm dating someone. I didn't mean for it to be that, but uh, people thought it was some juicy stuff. I thought it would be fun, but the guy was kind of large and there wasn't enough space for both of us, so I just quit. They couldn't have gotten a smaller chef or a bigger kitchen? That's so. Aw. Well, slowly I might do a story time on it. Ooh, that would be really cool. I'm always impressed with people who can do story times because um I don't think I'm that charismatic or that my um sense of telling stories like really pops out at people. So um if you make if you make it, like, I'm gonna be the first to click on it. Anyway, here is She's Mine. I've seen the signs and I have met her lots of times. It's so sublime and it's such a dream. To be just me because it is what it seems. She's mine. God, she's mine. And as the sun sets on today, I always look forward to a new day cuz my girl looked like a model and I tell her like there's storm tomorrow. My energy is rearranged and it feels so strange cuz sometimes I feel strange from the positivity with every activity, every day, every date. I just got to say, especially today, I love you. She a Yankee girl, but I never dodge her. I like the Dodgers. She ain't afraid to yank me into her world. God, I'm so lucky because I have her to love me, and she understands me like no other. It's almost strange because I feel like I looked all over. I've been broken and insecure. She sees my worst and knows my love is pure. She's so different. Instead of breaking my heart, she picks up the pieces. She's never indifferent, never pulls me apart. The miracles she continues to make up in my life are limitless. I do it all just to see her smile. It's just my style. Needless to say, I guess I'm here to stay. And I'm beyond glad it's her. My supermodel, my friend, my lover, my girlfriend, my world. I love you. Poetically yours, Javier Santamaria. The reason why I started my channel is because all my friends say I should tell my stories. The reason why I started my channel was because all my friends say I should tell my stories on a platform. Honestly, that's a good idea. And if you don't have a TikTok, I recommend making a TikTok too. Storytime content is huge on there as well. Owner might like to rub up against new girl. Good call. Just me, Fifi, unique Fifi. Yeah, good call. Keep it up, Javier. Hey, it's Pedro Billones. You know that as well. You're doing great. Thank you so much, Pedro. I can't wait to hit 1,000 and go back to do another interview with you. I like the way you play with rhyme. Thank you. I took a page out of Eminem's book, and I actually like reading the dictionary because it gives me more words to use. The poem is so cute. Thank you. Beef. I write novels and read them with sound effects. Skull Scully's really good at it. There will there will be times where I watch his videos and I just kind of sit there in awe because really what else can you do? Scully works so hard at his craft and it comes out so well. Alright, that's Scully. We'll check that out tomorrow. It's nearly 4 a.m. and I'm up at 8. Why are you doing up so late? Especially when you have to get up at 8. You should you should been moving and decorating all week. Oh, that makes sense. But still, remember to get sleep. I tried going days without sleep. I think the maximum amount of days I went without sleep was a full week, and it was awful. I only had a week to do it. Wow, it sounds very stressful. We're rubbing minds together. That's true. Anyway, folks, this will be the last poem for the night. Before I read to you this last poem, once again, I'd like to thank all of you for coming here to this live stream. Thank you all so much. Again, you're the people that keep me going, not just through the live streams, but through writing poetry, keeping up the content here. Um, I honestly could not do any of this without any of you. So thank you guys so much. Good night, everyone. We'll pass by y'all tomorrow. I just came home. I saw you pop by to say hi. Just me, Fifi. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. From London. Yeah, thank you. On to the last poem. Let's go off with a bang, everybody. This is Goodnight, and the interesting fact about this poem is that I named my book after this poem. So here is Goodnight. Watch it burn, watch it fall. We took our turn, went against it all, and lost it while committing the greatest crime of all. Let him sing, let the words ring, letting the pages burn his heart, 'cause they're filled with words from my heart, knowing none would compare to you, not mine and not art. No more sadness, going back is madness, and only blue skies after storms allowed, only clear ways after the snow is plowed. We pushed the boulder that wouldn't stay, so now we're hoping these wings we've built will save the day. I hope the day set peacefully as the sun leaves our faces, because I know that we're flying to different places. We fought so hard. It's time to rest. Good night. Thank you all so much. I hope you guys have had a fantastic time. I certainly had a great time during this live stream reading to you guys these poems. I hope to see you again.